Welcome back everybody to the PlantStock channel. If we haven't met yet, my name is Jesse. Well, today is Friday, and the best kind of Friday is when VRYYF has some new and excellent news, right? Which they do have today. I think a lot of us been waiting for it, for them to actually be on a higher listing, and it has finally happened. And what does this mean for the company? Well, obviously that means more exposure, and that's what we want to see, right? So that's what we're going to talk about tonight. So we're also going to talk about something that I've been wondering about. I do see more in the news, something about M&A more and more, which is mergers and acquisitions. And I'm wondering, why is that? Could that be related to that they're doing a new acquisition soon? And what acquisition would that be? And that's something I'm going to do some speculations about tonight. So stay tuned for that. But as always, guys, I would truly appreciate, guys, if you help me out by smashing that like button, right? And if you want to keep getting more information regarding the very good food company, VRYYF, or other plant-based stocks, make sure to subscribe and don't forget to push that bell button. All right, guys, appreciate you. Now, if we just take a quick look at the stock chart, ticker symbol VRYYF, which is the OTC version in American dollars, that is, we can see that, as we know, VRYYF had kind of a rough ride as of late. But at this moment, it is around 4.7 American dollars. And it is up about 0.5%. And if we take a look at the ticker symbol VRY and the Canadian SEK, we can see that it's the same story there, right? Basically the same kind of line, the same kind of downfall and uptrend again. And it's not much changes there either. But as we know, they're connected. So we don't have to worry. It doesn't really matter which we buy. And unfortunately, it seems that there are other people out there who don't understand the good news that's actually come out today, or that are worried about the stock market overall, which is understandable, I guess. But let's take a look at the good news. So the very good food company receives full approval to list on the TSX Venture Exchange. And this is great news, right? So what will this mean for all those shareholders that are either in the Canadian SEC or in the OTC version? Well, this will mainly affect the people who are in the Canadian SEC, right? But it won't affect them, as in they have to sell out their shares now and then buy it in this new listing. No, this will be a change that happens automatically. So it shouldn't be a problem with your stockbrokers. As it says here, quote, the company trading symbol VRY will remain unchanged and shareholders will not be required to take any action in connection with the listing on the TSXV. The company's shares will continue to be listed in the United States on the OTCQB under the symbol VRYYF and on the Frankfurt Stock Exchange under the symbol OSI. The last day of trading of the company's shares on the Canadian Security Exchange will be March 16, 2021. So there you have it, guys. So if you're not already in the Canadian shares, nothing's going to happen at all there. You're going to keep those. And if you are in the VRY at the moment, it's still going to be the same trading symbol, but it's going to be listed on another stock exchange. And obviously the CEO, Mitchell Scott, is happy about this, stating, quote, we are very excited to be listing on the TSXV. Our Rupert, Vancouver facility is currently being commissioned with food production planned to commence in the coming weeks. VRY will be soon be able to meet the growing demand for its products in both Canada and the US and further drive revenue. As we continue to achieve our business objectives, listing on the TSXV will allow the company to expand its shareholder base, enhance shareholder value, and accelerate the company M&A initiatives in pursuing the strategic opportunities. As we talked about merger and acquisitions. We'll talk more about that as we reach the end of the video. Guys, before we move on, please, let's have a little interaction here. What do you feel about this? Is this good news or what? Let me know down in the comments. And what kind of potentials do you see happening after this? And we also find out more information in the article that the company is going to hire Trent Collette to provide communications and investor relations service for a monthly cash fee of $3,500. And he will also be granted 25,000 options exercisable at a price of $572 until March 8th, 2024. All right. And this goes to show that they actually do understand that it's important to keep communicating with different investors, which they do. I've seen it in the Discord channel several times when they come out there, investor relations, and they ask questions and they answer a lot of questions. Usually, I think a couple of times a week to make certain that people are okay, that they're not worried what's going on. I think that's a smart move, and I'm thinking that we'll see more and more companies doing the same thing in future. So what are my personal thoughts and opinions on this? Well, obviously, as I think you can hear by now, I think this is really positive news. This means more exposure to the company, more exposure to the stock in itself. So more retail investors will find out about this incredible company of ours, right? And I'm hoping it also leads to more institutions finding out about the company and maybe starting to invest. And I think this is actually a really good sign that this company, the very good food company, very good butchers, are taken serious. They're being taken serious out there, right? Considering that not only have they now been listed to a higher listing, right, in the stock exchange, but they just got a huge loan, right, to a better interest rate that they've had before. So that kind of tells us that, yeah, they're in the ball game now, right? This is a company that we can expect great things for. So if we get back to this whole thing about the M&A, right? We're talking more and more about mergers and acquisitions. And I find this really interesting because they just acquired the Culture Nut, right? They've acquired them. They're going to start making more dairy products in the future. It's different cheeses, as we talked about, butters. We're hoping to see maybe some form or milk alternatives. I'm hoping for yogurt alternatives. The sky's the limit there, right? So what kind of acquisitions are they talking about? Because that's part of the loan, according to the article we talked about yesterday. And I'm starting to speculate more here because it seems to me that it's an interesting aspect for them to buy up smaller companies around them, right? That's been close to them on Victoria Island, which they did with Culture Nut, right? And actually a company that they were selling their products for. And that started me to think about another product that they actually sell, but isn't their company as of yet, which is Save the Sea vegan smoked salmon, right? So Save the Sea product, as they've been selling for quite some time now. And this is a sustainable plant-based smoked salmon made from simple ingredients like carrots, convincingly mimics the taste and texture of salmon, right? So obviously I had to go in and take a look at their page here. And when we look at them, smoked salmon made from plants, right? And it does seem that they use their products quite a lot in different sushis, and I'm guessing all kinds of salmon-based dishes. And if we take a look at their stock list, where they sell these products, we can see that they seem to be all around the West Coast in Canada and northern parts of the US here. And it seems to be quite a lot of places that actually do sell their products here. So that is actually quite impressive. And I get an impression that it is still a small company like the Culture Nut was, right? So again, I started wondering then, could it be that they're interested in going into the fish business, right? Or the salmon business, considering that they just entered the dairy alternative business. So if they would go into the salmon alternative or fish, what we say, the alternative fish business, what could that do for their revenues? And I'm thinking, especially sushi, right? Sushi is all the rave about that, and it's been that for years. Because for a lot of people, that's considered the better alternative, the more healthy alternative. If you're comparing with like pizzas or comparing it with burgers and steaks. So people usually go, oh, I'd rather have some sushi because it feels more healthy. And well, sure, depending on if you compare it with red meat, I guess sushi would be healthier, the fish version then. But I'm thinking that if you compare it with a plant-based version, it's not even comparable. I think the plant-based version would be a lot more healthy, especially this version, as we're going to talk about soon. As I'm sure you know, fish is also filled with cholesterol, right? It's a muscle meat, which usually means that if you eat too much of it, there'll be problems in the future. And then I started thinking, like, think about all the sushi restaurants in Canada, or what about all the sushi restaurants in the US? What an incredible market, right? I mean, already most sushi places, I would imagine, have guys, let me know down in the comments. I mean, I do imagine that it's like in Sweden, that most places where that serve sushi usually have like some form of vegan version, like tofu, and avocados or cucumbers and stuff like that, right? But most or people normally go to eat sushi. I think they're still looking for that, fish taste, right? And that is probably something they would get from a fake salmon product. So me personally, then I'm thinking about the huge potential revenue here. Not only revenue from dairy alternatives anymore now, and the meat alternatives, but now maybe also salmon. This is again only speculation. They're already selling this product, but again, maybe like Cultured Nut, they might buy up this company, and that I find really interesting. Let's just take a look at the ingredients list again, and they have it here. So the main ingredient, and we talked about this before, look at it's always in the right order of things, right? So the things that comes first, especially the three first things, is what it's mostly made of, right? And the first thing is here is carrots. And I think that is promising, of course. That is a healthy vegetable. We know that. And then we have maple syrup, maybe not so much, and sunflower oil. Yeah, I wouldn't call that a whole food thing. But then we have some apple cider vinegar, sea salt water, natural hickory smoke flavor, and seaweed. So compared to a lot of other fake meats out there, or fake fish, this seems reasonably healthy, right? So also to some extent a whole foods approach. Looking good here on the review, but it's only 8 reviews, right? So 88% really liked it. So 7 people, 1% didn't like it. But it says texture and taste were awesome. We enjoyed the smoked salmon very much. Used it to make sushi, like I talked about, right? Worked beautifully. And here, disagree with all the negative reviews. Taste is spot on, and who cares if it is made of carrots? Isn't that the point? Good point. All right. And as always, guys, sharing is caring, right? Let me know down in the comments. Have any of you tried this product, and is it good? Me personally, I never. It was like over 20 years ago now that I ate some form of meat, and I was never really keen about fish anyhow. But it still seems to me that a lot of people love these kind of products. So let me know. Again, guys, is it a good product? Have you tasted it? Does it taste well? And I also did a quick look, and I know I've talked to other people about this regarding is there a difference between the TSX and the TSXV, the venture? And there is, obviously. The TSXV is a smaller exchange. It's bigger than the one VRYYF is in now, but it's still smaller than the TSX, which it says here. The Toronto Stock Exchange is the senior equity market, while the TSX Venture Exchange is a public venture capital marketplace for emerging companies, which is perfect for the Very Good Food Company, right? So I think we have a lot to look forward to here. We can see that with this listing, with the recent bank loan maybe happening soon. I think we have a lot to look forward to here, right? And I'm thinking already, what's the next step, right? I've been talking about since day one that I'm really hoping that this company, the Very Good Food Company, will actually be listed on Nasdaq, like Beyond Meat, like Tattooed Chef. It makes sense to me, right? It's a food tech company, makes sense to be listed on Nasdaq. But the first step then now has been made to being listed on the TSXV. And the next step will be the TSX. And after that, and I think when it comes to the TSX, that means even more exposure. And the next step after that, and I'm there now, will be NASDAQ. And guys, that's the big leagues, right? That's the major leagues. That's where we see the real money coming in, where absolutely more people will know about them. Institutions and Wall Street will probably go bananas about them. And that's good that they have time before they reach that level. Now opening up the different facilities and showing how much they can sell, right? And we'll see that revenue just fly up. So I'm not worried about that at all. And before I end this video, I just have to say, I have so much respect for the CEO, Mitchell Scott, and the whole management team. I mean, these guys, they don't mess around, right? They're not just all talk. They've just proven it on since the very beginning, right? They've been saying from the start that they're going to aggressively expand in North America. I mean, come on, guys, that's what they're doing, right? They're expanding into the East Coast of Canada. They're going into the US with a huge facility that's going to start up in a couple of months from now. And they're already at this moment starting up their Vancouver facility that seems to be online any day soon, right? I'm really looking forward to that. And I'll update you on that. And then they were talking about a couple of months ago and weeks ago about a larger listing, and that has happened, right? They were talking about for several months ago about possible acquisitions. That has happened with the Culture Nut. Maybe it's going to be with this Save.C product. Looking forward to see what that, or other forms of products. Guys, do you know about other kind of companies on Victoria Island? Are there other smaller plant-based companies? Let me know down in the comments, because I'm thinking these could also be potential acquisitions in the company, right? And then they've been talking about dairy alternatives, going into that, and they're doing it as we speak. I mean, come on, guys. Come on, people. This company is going places, right? Well, folks, that was it for today. I hope you found some value in today's video. And if you did, please make sure to smash that like button. And if you want to keep getting more information regarding VRYYF or other plant-based stocks, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already done so. And do not forget the ever so important bell button. And before we say goodbye, always remember, this is not financial advice. These are just my own thoughts and opinions. Always do your own due diligence and make sure to always invest safe. Thank you for today, guys. Have a great Friday. Peace out.